This episode of Verbal Tap brought to you by NogiBJJGear.com.
Use the promotional code VerbalTap15 to get 15% off of your order. Do it!
Quick special edition news alert of Verbal Tap, MMA comedy podcast show that proves fighting way easier and safer from outside the cage, especially with a mask and quarantined. Raph, we knew MMA would be able to sustain because those guys are used to being loners in the gym as it is. They work very hard and often without an audience. Baseball, we were worried about. All of the Marlins have it. They can't play for like 3 weeks. Baseball's over, right? What do they do? They're saying they're going to use win percentage.
Here's my idea, and take it if you will, baseball. Pro bono. I just want tickets for life. That's it. But what I think you should do, because win percentage is kind of bullshit at this point, I say you take a simulation from EA Sports, you play a couple games on that, and that's where you get it. If the Marlins advance, then that should substitute enough. So I'm saying, at this point, aren't we to virtual games anyways?
People have already been upset with this commissioner. It's not great when you just pipe in on the podcast with a better idea than he's had all off season. He got to fight. The winning percentage is not going to work. Some teams are going to play like 51 games. Some teams are going to play like 60. Some teams are going to play 34. The Marlins are going to play 8. Raph, I like this. It's like just MLB award it. Show us the reactions. Show us like a 5-minute quick speed of the game. Be effing hilarious. I'm in. Well, that's better than win percentage. And the NBA needs this same advice. I love this bubble and what I'm seeing, but eventually someone's going to need some extra bubble affairs.
Kev, think of it from this perspective, though. Of all the sports, with football, you want one more week, 17 weeks. People are like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. Even in fantasy football, you add that extra week, people go, I don't like that, dude. And I used to do it, so I get it. But let me tell you this. Baseball is the one sport where they say, I don't care how long it is, they have to play 160 games per season. It's like there's not enough days for that.
You're an originalist about baseball. That's funny.
No, you will play, and you will play 163 now. If you keep back talking me, it's going to be 170. So I would watch it, mister. And you think to yourself, how long are they supposed to play for? And they go, doesn't matter. They're just going to end one game, pick one up, keep going. These guys are going to baseball till they die. And that's how traditionalist baseball is. They don't care if it's modified or it changes anything for the actual players. They just want to see them some baseball. And I have to say, watching a Dodgers pitcher purposely hit the Astros and then get more of a punishment than the Astros got.
This actually does qualify as MMA, I would argue. Yeah.
I would too. And, I got to tell you, as people who watch a number of shit talkers, nothing is better than duck face as you walk away like, pobrecito. Because I said, you know what? Nothing that any of these guys who talk shit has done anything better. I'm sorry, Jorge Masvidal. You were not as well put together as that man.
Also, you know who deserves to throw at the Astros if we're taking a vote? The Dodgers. I don't have a horse. I don't have anything in this fight or race. I was going to use a horse in this race. I was like, I don't think I remember this saying. But the Dodgers deserve. The Astros cheated for you MMA fans. Are like, why are they talking about baseball? This is funny. We're just roasting. We're going to get to Buchecha in just a moment. They deserve it. The Dodgers got cheated the most. They get to hit them. That's how it works.
That's just, hey, listen, dude, if you hit a few baseball players from the Astros, no big deal. And I feel like Astros fans, as shitty as they might be about this situation, because I don't think they purposely did it, not to my knowledge, I think they kind of understand, like, yeah, you got to take a punch to the face, dude. You got to take a fastball to the helmet. I mean, them's the rules, dude. You guys cheated and you got away with it. So, ooh, and I got to tell you, man, there's nothing that all of the cholos out here, I'm very much the pulse of all cholos in Los Angeles. There is nothing they love more than putting the gangster glasses on a short little video of a pitcher who purposely does thug life things. So to me, I can't tell you how many times I saw a thug life edit of that video, and it was glorious every time. And I've seen it multiple times, but I still watched each and every time because the mere thought when they say they're going to, get the benches out there and there's people just talking, it gets to that moment of, ooh, it might be MMA. And then we can talk about their form.
They did clear.
And just thinking about that as being like, hey, listen, guys, if you love that, we've got a beautiful fight island we can settle this upon. And that would probably draw better ratings than the World Series.
Lease is almost up, so we got to get out there. Dana won't be there. Baseball players suck at fighting. It's always funny. I would actually enjoy watching one of those baseball fights with a few of our MMA friends. I would really enjoy that. And Josh Palmer calls it. We should do that. The three of us, we'll talk. So, Raph, we have to talk about Buchecha.
Mm-hmm.
Following in Gary's footsteps, he signs with One Fight Championship. Now, I also want to say, you got to go to nogearbjj.com. Enter VerbalTap15. You're going to see that gear. You're going to think, is that when Buchecha crushed it at ADCC wearing just those beautiful shorts? Oh, that's the look. So go to nogearbjjgear.com, enter in VerbalTap15. You will love their gear. You will come back for their quality. Buchecha is a giant in the sport. He alluded earlier to this season. He was thinking about doing this. He does it. He makes the signature sign. And the rumor is, Raph, we're going to see him in a cage in heavyweight by end of 2020 or, and I love it when articles do this, early 2021.
Yep. Yeah.
But seeing ESPN, we'll get to that. What are your initial thoughts as you hear Buchecha's not only just going MMA, but the 30-year-old phenom is now signed?
Does he have to? Kev, I understand. He's got a good momager here in Ali, because Ali always gets everybody great deals. But Ali also is the guy who is on people's Twitter and talking shit for to the people. And so all I could think of is, if Buchecha says something that's going to be like he's talking shit about one of his opponents, you can guarantee that is not him. Because I've done interviews with him. That man, first of all, words don't happen very fast. But if they are going to happen, they're usually pretty respectful. And they tend to be very nice. So I don't think he's going to go out of his way to talk shit about any of his opponents. So if you see that, that's what you know is happening. And the second part was, people were asking me, they said, well, where do you think he signed? And I said, it says, this is before they revealed it was one, but it says that he's going to be able to do grappling competition. So he's retiring from BJJ, but he could still do no-gi, contests or exhibitions or that sort of stuff. And I go, there's only real place that can do that. That's ONE FC. And it's interesting because didn't we read that ONE FC is super not making money right now? And I'm pretty sure he's not going to come cheap because he's an international superstar. So it begs a few questions. The third thing I'm going to mention here, and this is just my own personal belief on this, you guys can differ. It's just like when we lost Rodolfo. And granted, I'm so happy Rodolfo is in MMA in the UFC, but I would love for him to make a career as a jiu-jitsu artist. If that's in his blood and he wants to go fight, I get it. I just feel like if you were to tell Buchecha, hey, gun to head, pick either this fight where we pay you $1 million or this grappling event that we pay you $1 million, I think it's going to be a very easy conversation for him to say, so are we talking gi or no gi? Conversation over. That's it. That's my only real problem with it. Otherwise, make your money, man. Go out there, represent us well. Be that Rodolfo, be that Gary Tonin, be that Rafael Lovato Jr. Because I will say this, we are starting to run a little bit short on, with if Lovato's not going to be able to compete, it would be nice to see a jiu-jitsu guy go in there and dominate. It's just heavy guys sometimes throw bombs, and that's scary to me.
I'm actually really excited to see him try and punch someone. I haven't ever seen it. So, it's never happened. There's an interesting amount of anticipation for what type of game he's going to bring, how he's going to play it. So I'm excited for the change. I'm looking forward to what will be formidably, though. And this is why I'm a little bummed we didn't get the Mackenzie Dern route. I kind of wanted to see him just roll it right into the UFC, but I can't imagine he's far behind Rodolfo. But if he takes the Gary Tonin route, it'll be 15 years before we see him fight in the United States, not for a tiny briefcase. And I don't think that's how this is going to go. So I think we're going to see Buchecha come in, take people to the ground, and submit them pretty quick. But it's just my thoughts. I do also yearn longly for the ONE FC fights to be sure they're going to be able to, and this is going to be a little bit of a link to subject one topic and a little bit of I'm sorry to be a downer. But I, to your point, hope they're still here in 5 months and we get to see Buchecha fight. I do semi-worry.
Yeah.
That's probably it. We wanted to get on and talk about the fact that Buchecha is officially signed. He's making it happen. We wanted to give people the, hey, they didn't give a date or a fight card. So I love that he's declared.
No, they did say your favorite, which is could be this year or early 2021, which is the same thing.
It's not a date.
I understand, but that's the same thing I tell people whenever I talk about my abs. I'm like, you could see my abs later this year or early 2021. It's going to depend on how much training I get. Can I also bring this up to you? And I think this is the last thing I want to leave on, which is, Glory's back. So happy for them. They look like they're in some financial trouble. So maybe just maybe, ONE FC is going to be okay. Here's the note. Conor McGregor apparently just tweeted out today, I accept. Now, Kevin, ask me, what does he accept?
I was just about to be like, the terms of my probation for punching that old guy?
Yeah, that's the 12th step of the recovery program he's in right now.
I accept. It's like, motherfucker, it wasn't up for dispute. Don't hit people at a bar. You're a professional.
It would appear.
Is that it?
It would appear that it is in response to Tony Ferguson, who's like, hey, man, I don't care who you put in front of me. You can put Conor in front of me. You can put Dustin or whatever, like whoever you want to put in front of me. Like, just put in front of me, and that's what I'm going to do. Like, you can put Conor in front of me. And then all of a sudden you see Conor say, I accept. Now, it doesn't have any attachment to anything. It's just kind of like, oh, did one of his fans propose to him? Did he just get something where he copied and pasted like his iTunes agreement and it just kind of went to his Twitter? Who knows at this point? I just thought it would be interesting to hear from some of our fans what you think Conor McGregor accepted. And let us know. Feel free. Slide into our DMs at VerbalTapCast on all major social media platforms. Even if you get a hold of us on Snapchat. I might check it. I probably won't. But it exists, and I never use it just because I want to make sure that no one else tries to take the goddamn name VerbalTapCast, because that's what you have to do these days, kids. That's what you got to do to get by.
It's not fair. It's just life. Well, look forward to whatever Conor McGregor accepted. I saw the water cycling. Like, I've seen him golfing, bowling. It's really... I'm so glad things are happening in the world again because quarantine has been too kind to people that don't deserve it, including Conor McGregor. That'll do it for our special breaking news episode. I am Kevin. This has been Verbal Tap.
Good night. And I also accept.
number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...